Hey, welcome to the series of everything you need to know about Python in simplest possible way. In this video, we will see how break works in for loop. Break is a keyword in Python which is used to come out of the loop as and when a specific condition is met. As said like that, in this video we will see how break works in for loop. In the next video we will see how break works in while loop. After that we will be seeing how break works in nested loops because break is used in loops, right? So for that reason we have divided this break into three different parts. So as like said that in this video we will see how this break works in for loop. So for that reason, I will first start with for loop. So before starting with for loop, we need to for is used in order to iterate through an iterable, right? So for that reason, I will take an iterable which is let's say my list. I am taking a list here in the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So like that, we have the values 1 to 8. So I will use a for loop in order to iterate through this list. So for that reason, I am taking a for loop. For we need to iterate it, right? So for that reason, I am taking an element in my list. So by using that, we can iterate through my list by using this element. So now if I print the element, so if I execute this, we can able to see the elements 1 to 8. But by using this break, we will be come out of this loop as and when a specific condition is met. So first we will be seeing the syntax. After once we see the syntax, we will come to this example once again so that we can able to understand this example very clearly. So for that reason, I will start explaining the syntax. So generally we have iterable, right? Those and for is used to iterate through that iterable. So for that reason, I am taking for loop element in iterable. It's just a syntax for explaining in order to understand clearly. Iterable. So this is an iterable. Consider this as an iterable, and by using this element, we are iterating through that iterable. So here, what we will be generally doing any for loop, we perform some actions, right? We will be doing some modifications, some updations, something we will be doing in for loop. So after that, a- as like said that break is used to come out of the loop as and when a condition is met. So for that reason, in order to define a condition, we use if, right? So for that reason, I am using if and I will have a condition here. So when this condition becomes true, I will use a break. When this condition becomes true, we will be coming out of the loop by using this break. So we can mention this particular condition when the loop is starting and when the loop is ending in middle of the loop. Wherever we wanted to mention, we can mention this particular condition. So I hope you can able to understand this syntax. So let us go ahead and see this particular example so that we can able to understand now very clearly. So I'm taking the same example and I'm executing this. We can able to see the result 1 to 8 we are getting. So let's say I wanted to stop this execution of this loop whenever I met a specific element. Let's say I will consider the element 5 here. So for that reason, after printing this particular element, I am checking if element is equal to 5. What we wanted to do? We wanted to break this loop. So now if I execute this, we can able to see we are only getting the values 1 to 5. After we have reached to this 5, we are checking this condition and the condition became true and we are exiting the loop. So like that this break is works. So if I put this condition before this particular print, so now if I execute this, we are only getting the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because this print statement is having after this condition and this condition is met and this condition became true when the element is 5. So because of that reason, we are coming out of this loop, this step only in the line 4 only. So for that reason, we are not able to print this element when the value becomes 5. So let's say for the time, what we will be doing is that we will dynamically take input of this particular something, right? So I am taking input. I will take integer input. So for that reason, I am mentioning integer input, enter number. So I am asking user to enter number. I will assign this to num. So now we will take input from the user. So based on the user input, we will know how this particular condition is met or not. So now if I execute this, it was asking me to enter number. So I will give, let's say, 4 here. So 4 is present in this list. Because of that reason, we are to this condition, and after once the condition is met, we are coming out of this loop. Let's say I will give some other number. The number is not present in this list. So for that reason, I will take number 9. So because 9 is not present in the list and I am giving 9 here, so we can able to see the all numbers are printed here. Let's say I will remove some number here. Let's say I am removing the number 4, and if I give the value 4 here, still we can able to see all the elements here that are present inside of this particular list. So now I hope you can able to understand how and why we use break here in order to exit from the loop as and when a specific condition is met. So now I hope you can able to understand this logic. So I will quickly explain one more time what we are doing here. So here we are using a for loop in order to iterate through this particular list. So we wanted to exit from this loop as and when a specific condition is met. So for that reason, we are mentioning a condition here. After that, we are mentioning this break. When this condition becomes true, we will break this particular loop. So after that, if any statements that is present after this break statement don't execute, they will simply ignored, and this whole for loop itself come out of this. So I hope you have found this video interesting, and I hope you have understood whatever I have explained. So if that is true, hit the like button. In the next video, we will see how this break works in while loop. So having said that, thank you for watching this that video.